I'd given her $30 to go out to eat dinner at Genji with her high school friends, and she was in withdrawal and went and bought and used and overdosed. And I didn't know when we got to the hospital if she was dead or alive.
Welcome to the Level Up Life, Muscle and Mindset Mastery, a podcast that's dedicated to helping people rebuild their lives through fitness, mindset, recovery, accountability, and purpose. I'm your host, Adam Wittbrodt.
Your co-host, Waz.
We got a special guest today, Lori Ziolkowski. Did I say that correct?
Me. Close enough.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
When I've gotten a ton with my last name, Wittbrodt.
Right, yeah.
I've gotten some of the most odd ones were Wittbroder.
Oh, that's fancy.
I don't know how they got the ers in there.
Yeah,
but
maybe if you were British or something.
Sweet.
I don't know. I'd go with it. Yeah, so I always tell people, think of a zillion cows skiing. Get that in your head. Ziolkowski. You'll never forget it now.
Ziolkowski.
Ziolkowski. There
Easy.
you go.
That's a good way to teach it. You could tell your teacher by profession.
There you go. Yes, 15 years of that.
So I'll let you introduce yourself, kind of your background, where you come from, what you do, what you've done, and what you're doing now.
Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm a lifelong Bay County resident, and my career has been in business. So I was a buyer and store manager for 10 years. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for 10 years. And then I was a business professor at Delta College for 15 years. So being involved in the substance use disorder recovery community was not a part of my profession. I came to this community because of our daughter, Amanda. She had a non-fatal heroin overdose when she was 18. In 2013, she had just finished her first year at Delta College. That was the plan. Go to Delta for 2 years and go to a university. Being a heroin addict was not part of the plan. We never thought it would affect our family. And, raised in a loving two-parent household. My husband, Kevin, and I are celebrating 37 years of marriage. Amanda is our only child. Thank you. Yeah, can we get just a round for both of us? I don't know who's put up with more, man.
Awesome.
For him. And Amanda's our only child. She was raised in privilege and just is a great kid. She was an honor student, volleyball star, never gave us a lick of trouble. And then summer of her junior year, she started experimenting with low-level stuff that I just thought every kid did. Oh, you'd find an empty booze bottle here or there. Then she was smoking some weed with the boyfriend. And, we tried not to panic about it because that's like, okay, well, that's just kid stuff. Well, what I didn't know that when I was growing up in the 80s and there was pink-conning paralyzer, ask your grandma about that brand.
I've heard about that.
That was, the vodka cabinet, whatever. We did not know that also prescription drugs were readily available, and then that was part of the experimentation. We were not prepared for that. She knew more about the drugs and availability and drug culture than we ever did, and the cannabis that's available today is nowhere near the pink-conning ditchweed that was available in the 70s. It just isn't. It's highly synthesized to be very high in THC. So her addiction came on very quickly, and it was a combination of low-level things. Never really liked alcohol, loved weed, then take somebody's Adderall on Sunday so she could stay up and study. Adderall was the number one abused prescription medication on the college campus. People share it. People sell it. There's so many people on it. It's a great drug if you need it. Not a great drug if you don't. And then other party drugs. And then within a year, she was using IV heroin, and she learned how to use by watching a YouTube video and shot up alone. My kid. It was devastating. We found out she was addicted to heroin the day that she overdosed at my mom's house. I'd given her $30 to go out to eat dinner at Genji with her high school friends, and she was in withdrawal and went and bought and used and overdosed. And I didn't know when we got to the hospital if she was dead or alive. And I certainly did not know she was a heroin addict until the nurse came in with the clipboard and told us. And I told the nurse she must be in the wrong room because it was so impossible to think that. And so that devastated our lives, and we said nothing to nobody for 2.5 years because I thought I was a terrible parent and she was a terrible kid. And somewhere along the line of what we thought we did all the things right, and we did a lot of the things right, that we screwed up somehow. And then I was home on Christmas break as a professor reading the newspaper, a thing that used to come to your doorstep every day that had words on it. And the title was 27 overdoses in 27 days in Bay County. And it was a light bulb for me. I was like, oh my God, it's not just us. Because we did not know we were in a heroin epidemic at that point. And so when I got back to classes in January, I reached out to one friend and told her what was going on. She shared what had been happening in her family. And then we decided we better start warning our college students because they were beautiful, bright students, just like my daughter, who had their lives ahead of them. And we had to warn them. So we did. We got a small grant from the president, and we started doing programming on campus. We did posters. We did panel discussions. We did educational films to like ring a warning bell, like this is happening, like beware. And the local news picked it up. And after that, it just kind of spiraled into now I'm a community advocate.
Yeah.
And Judge Harry Gill and I and many community members, including Chief Cliff Black, who was the chief of police here in Midland, now over at Saginaw Valley, Judge Harry Gill, Sheriff Troy Cunningham, Dave Konjorski from the Saginaw City Police, people who'd lost loved ones, people in recovery. We all came together and we formed a FAN chapter. It was called Families Against Narcotics back then. We had a brand change a couple years ago. It's Face Addiction now. And we've been in existence coming up on 9 years.
Awesome.
And every year when I was doing less work as a professor in the summer, I would start a program. I just posted on my Facebook page. It came up 8 years ago. We started Hope Not Handcuffs.
Yeah.
8
I
years
know,
ago. It's amazing.
One of my clients, one of my former clients, she moved to Kansas. She was one of the angels.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a
volunteer.
everything. There was all volunteers. We didn't have any paid staff at FAN. We did it all as volunteers. And somebody would walk into a police department and ask for help, and they would call us, and we would go and help them. And then COVID, of course, shut everything down. So those programs still exist, but most people now just reach us by calling 833-202-HOPE or applying online. But most people call our Hope line, and we help find treatment for people. We help provide free transportation. We'll get them a backpack full of personal care items. I purchase clothes for people. We've purchased it. When you go to treatment, you need to have all your medication. A diabetic didn't have their insulin checker, so we went to the pharmacy. We got we'll figure out individually what do you need to help us get you the medical care that you need.
You know, it makes me think about how many times I went through. I was in withdrawal and I just wanted to stop so bad.
Yeah,
and I would even call to get treatment set up, and it would just a process when you're in withdrawal. You don't have a ton of patience.
Yeah, miserable.
And it's just easier to go out and fix it with another high.
Just to get relief. Yeah, I always tell people there's three levels for people using. One, people use it to feel good. You might go out on a Friday night, have a couple beers. You won't have a beer again for 3 more weeks. Some people use it to feel better. Maybe you've got some social anxiety and you're going to Christmas with the in-laws. Oh God, a couple beers will take the edge off of that. Other people have to use to keep normal, to stay normal. And when people are in addiction and substance use disorder, they're using to feel normal, not to feel fun, just to be able to function. And the process to access care for any other chronic illness or potentially fatal illness is you go to the doctor, and if you're having a heart attack, they save your life. They connect you with a cardiologist and a nutritionist, and they give you all the things. When you're accessing care for substance use disorder, you have to do an intake and another intake and answer all these very personal questions all the way back from when you were a kid and you first started using every single time you go. And then there's a 2-week wait, and then how are you going to get there? It's just the hurdles that are put in front of people who are ready to get care right now. Imagine if that was the truth for a stroke victim or a heart attack victim or somebody going into diabetic shock. Sorry, you'll have to make that phone call on your own. You can't have somebody call for you. Sorry, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks. You're going to need to fill out this paperwork. Oh, your insurance doesn't. It's one thing after another thing after another thing. I've never seen a system so cumbersome to access care. It's improving. It is still not great. It's not great, but we've done a lot of work to make it better. Right. So the programs that we've started here with FAN, everything from harm reduction will support you when you're actively ill. So when you're ready for whatever next step that is, it might not be abstinence, but when you're ready to use in a safer manner, when you're ready to talk to a peer coach, we're there. We've got peer coaches. The thing that I love the most, we have family coaches. I wish I would have had another mom that I could have talked with helping me navigate through this, because we were lost. Yeah. We had no idea what to do. And we made some missteps along the way because we didn't know, right? We have group meetings, our Stronger Together meetings. They're online, and they also meet in Bay City twice a month. I wish we would have had that. So we've created things that didn't exist before to fill the gaps. I look at the recovery community as this is a relay race where you have the baton for a certain length and you hand it to me, and then I hand it off to the detox facility, and then they hand it to residential, and then the residential hands it to outpatient, and outpatient hands it to recovery housing, and recovery housing hands it to apartments. Like, this is a continuum of care that if all the pieces aren't aligned, your likelihood of staying well is pretty low. So I'm a breast cancer survivor. You can clap for
That's
that
awesome.
too.
Yes.
9 years. And I can tell you it was so eye-opening to me. And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer is when I decided to go public, because I starkly saw how my daughter was diagnosed and treated and how I was diagnosed and treated, and they were not the same. And being a pharmaceutical sales rep for 10 years, I had experience talking with physicians in hospitals. And I knew it was subpar medical care. And all I wished for is that when she left the hospital, they would have given us a pamphlet or a brochure and said, she has the disease of addiction. Here's what it is. And we didn't get any of that. We got nothing.
I think that there's a misconception with addiction in terms of like what you're saying. You didn't choose to have breast cancer.
No.
But a lot of people in the public who don't understand what addiction really is would say, I chose to be a heroin addict because I chose to use that substance. While there is some truth to it, there's also, it's way deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying someone who is type 2 diabetic, just got it. But there is some context to where their choices come into that over time.
Or lung cancer or COPD.
From smoking. Yeah. So then with hearing you talk about your daughter's story, I can really connect, because I'm like listening to you talk, and that's
what happened
my
to you.
story.
Yeah.
So
many people's story, right? It's
There's
a choice
millions
at
of us.
first, and she was smart, and she thought she could outsmart it and stop when she wanted to, and it took her over.
It grabs you.
It took her over, and I'm ashamed to say I thought the same thing for 2.5 years. Knock it off! You're ruining your life. You were raised better than this. Quit it. We just thought she was just being a dumb teenager and just being, a brat. Like, just knock it off. Until I saw that headline in the newspaper, and as an educator, I thought I really need to educate myself on this, because clearly I'm not understanding it. And holy cow, I was wrong. I was so wrong about what the disease of addiction is, how it happens to people, and the reasons for this particular epidemic is because of the potent overprescribing narcotics that we did for a decade, longer than a decade.
Oxycontin.
Yeah, all that
That's
stuff.
what got me into it.
Yeah, when I was a drug rep, I launched the product Ultram Tramadol. It was not a scheduled narcotic when I launched it. I had a garage full of samples that we would give to physicians to give to patients. It wasn't even scheduled. It's scheduled now. And so, we were kind of duped. Now we know we were duped, because how could something like Oxy that works in the same receptor sites as heroin not be addicted?
Yeah.
But yet heroin's highly addictive.
Well, they did say,
I
I don't remember what year, but they did say heroin was the cure for morphine withdrawal.
Yeah. Well, and they're saying kratom's the cure for fentanyl withdrawal. Isn't it funny how we just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over, and you think that we would learn, and yet here we are.
Yep.
Here we are.
And kratom sold over the counter.
I know. And we're starting to see that in toxicology reports for people who are dying of overdoses.
Scary stuff.
Man, I don't know how business people sleep at night knowing what they're selling to people. Seriously.
Because you got to get out the whiskey. It's to beer.
Yeah.
And then go to wine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
right?
that'll stop you from drinking whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it's all alcohol at its core.
I know. So, boy, have I been educated. I had to humble myself. And our daughter almost died because of my lack of knowledge. I didn't know how to help her. I will say she's doing so well. She's 10 years in recovery.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
Yes.
all right.
I want to say I remember that. Like,
Yeah.
we both, her clean date and my clean date were pretty close.
Yeah.
I just celebrated.
She's in February.
Yeah, June 22nd was
Okay.
me.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Yeah, just wonderful. Double digits. She just graduated from Wayne State with her social work degree.
It's awesome.
She's heading down to Ann Arbor to finish her master's at University of Michigan.
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Prayers answered. More. I didn't even pray that prayer. I prayed that she would graduate from college. I did. I would picture her, instead of picturing her in her casket, I would close my eyes and say, no, I'm not going to picture my daughter dead. I'm going to picture future grandbabies, and I'm going to picture her graduating from college, and I'm going to picture her happy, healthy, and well. I will not picture her dying,
Yep.
even though that was a real possibility. And I'm so happy for her. And she still manages her recovery every day.
Yeah.
Still works the program, just like
Awesome.
somebody with diabetes or any other chronic illness. As a breast cancer survivor, there are things that I'm doing to manage my weight because mine was estrogen positive, and belly fat is a big contributor to that. So I'm slowly losing some pounds. My cholesterol dropped 30 points in the last 9 months. I know.
Yeah.
When you're 61, that's like a
wins.
huge win, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is it easy? No. But if I don't do that, I'll die. And if she doesn't manage her disease, she'll die. Like, that's just the fact of it.
Yeah.
And so if you want to down people for that, that's on you, man. That's on you. All I can do is educate and have compassion for people and try to bring programs to our community that don't exist and support the ones that do exist.
Yeah.
Because we're all in this together. We have to work together at this.
Part of this podcast here is to just bring awareness. There's so many people that have good ideas.
Yeah.
They're creating waves, positive waves. So
Yep.
This platform allows us to share that, bring it out to the world.
Yeah,
and
so
then-
glad you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because for so many years, people in recovery were just hidden in the church basements. And I'm not that.
Yeah.
I have a big mouth, just ask my husband, and I'm trying to use it for good. And
Well-
people sometimes label me, as a pit bull or a bulldog, or I like mama bear personally, because I will go hard for you. I will. I will stick with the folks in recovery and in active illness because sometimes they have nobody.
Yeah.
Not literally one person in the whole world who would answer their call. I cannot imagine how lonely that is. We can't let that happen to our citizens, our residents of this community. Is that where you want to live? Where we just throw people away? I don't want to live in a place that throws people away. No, that's not the community I want to create. So we have to be loud and vocal and push. And I do. And I do. And some people get it and some people don't. And they think I'm aggressive. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to have those
Let me
type
have
of
you meet
people.
some
Yeah.
people that are alive and thriving because of that.
Yeah.
Not going to make me feel bad.
Well, and I think we're making progress in
Yes,
terms
we
of
are.
the stigma around addiction.
Yeah.
And I said it to the audience episode or two ago. Like, you can support recovery. You can say you support recovery, and then if you use terms like junkie,
Yeah.
drunk, like they're more derogatory terms,
sure.
then do you truly support people in
Right.
recovery?
Yeah. And language in our words are important.
Yeah.
They're important.
Yeah.
I've not used terms like that because, of course, they feel hurtful. Like, everybody can understand they feel hurtful. And again, that's on you.
Yeah.
If you want to use those terms, that's on you, but I don't use those terms. So I think modeling proper language is important. I think voting for people to represent us in our various levels of government who support our recovery and understand it. And that's a big thing because some of the mess we're in is because of policy, frankly. So we have to make sure that we're voting for people who understand our community, who want the best for our community, and just be really good examples. And also, when someone reaches out to you, be there for them. Know the resources where to direct them. Or if you see something and people are like, they don't seem okay, people don't know what to say, so they say nothing.
Right. It's like
And-
when someone's got a booger hanging from their nose,
Yeah.
people get uncomfortable
No,
telling
you're
them.
like,
It's
here,
like,
you got a little something
no,
right
yeah,
here.
hey,
Yeah, like, hey,
let
check
'em
your
know.
fly.
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't you want somebody to say that?
Yeah.
There was one class, it was in the summer, and it was really hot, and walking into class, I had a tissue, and I must have, like, wiped my forehead. 3-hour class, did the whole class, go in the bathroom. I had a wad of tissue, sweat stuck to
Yep.
my forehead.
Nobody told you.
Nobody told me. The next class, I was like, seriously, guys? Serious, like, you know me. Nobody is like, you got a little something? Like, yeah, let's not let somebody hang out there like that, man. Bring them in. And people don't know what to say. So I always say, come alongside somebody and say, you just don't seem like yourself. I feel like something's going on, and you don't have to tell me, but just know if you want to, I'm here and I'll listen.
Yep.
That's all people want to know. They want to know they can trust you. And when they trust you, don't go blabbing it to everybody.
That's huge. Then
Be
you can break their
trustworthy.
trust,
Be
their
trustworthy.
trust,
Yeah.
to open up in the future too.
It's not everybody's business.
Yep.
If people are open, that's different. And if they give you permission, that's different.
Yep.
But you don't need to blab about it. So your words behind somebody's back are really powerful. Lift people up.
That's a great point.
Lift people up. We don't need to kick people when they're down.
Right.
That's not who I want to be. Is that where you want to live? Is that who you
No.
want your neighbors to be? No,
No.
that's gross.
We need to always be reaching back to help
Yeah, for
help our
sure.
neighbors, help our
Yep.
friends.
Yep. Because guess what? When you stretch out your hand, somebody's going to be there for
It's
you too.
amazing the recovery community, how like just when I came into it, how welcoming and
Yeah.
how loving these people
Yeah.
are, you know.
You
It's
have
just
instant family.
It's like
I'm so jealous of my daughter. Anywhere she moves, anywhere she goes, she has instant family.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a blessing to just walk
awesome.
in.
And it's
yeah.
so cool. You get. So I mean, I was quieter and I was way more drinking was my thing. And
Yep.
when I first got sober and I was working out of state, I was around half the time,
Yep.
and I just burrowed.
Yeah.
And I turned into a hermit. It
Yeah.
was my wife and my 5 kids. And,
Yep.
and then slowly, and then when I got out of doing that and working out and about, and pretty much anybody that I spend any amount of time with are in recovery.
Yeah.
And that was never a planned thing. You know, I shut the world out in the beginning years of my sobriety.
Yep.
And now, I mean, if I'm reaching the phone to go and do this or do that, it's recovery. I mean, we play ball now.
Yeah. It's because you have so much in common.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Call your buddies who are going to the bar?
And
Like you don't have anything in common anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, and there's certain stuff, but it's just we've drifted apart in so many ways. We
Yeah.
had one of our guys on the ball team when Adam first started our fast pitch team. Well, how you guys feel? And Adam's like, you guys can do whatever. Like, I'm allergic to it, and I break out in handcuffs.
Yep. That's right.
And you know, I had
Yep.
voice similar. Like, you guys are fine. Like, and it's usually not crazy, and
Yeah.
we're getting old, so it's not hanging out late after the games. But
Right.
really, nobody drinks.
Yeah.
And it's, that present and that ripple that
Yeah.
is affected just being around us. And we're not preaching to them or
Yeah,
anything
or
like that.
Dogging
but-
them for having a beer. Yeah.
And
Yep.
for, anywhere from a couple years to 20 years of playing ball, first thing after the game, they're having drinks.
Sure. Yeah.
Now they're not.
Yeah.
We're chatting about everything for
Yeah.
a while, and
It's
now
amazing. It
everybody's
doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
No.
And I think alcohol, honestly, is the toughest thing. We put more people into treatment because of alcohol use disorder. We talk about opioid use disorder because it has killed so many people. Alcohol use disorder kills people too.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's in car crashes or liver disease, it kills you slowly. But we place more people in treatment for alcohol use disorder than any other drug. And
It's more socially
it's
acceptable.
It's
Got the
social.
built-in
It's not just
crutch.
acceptable. It's pushed on you. It's the only drug when you
Yes.
go somewhere, people are asking why you're not
Yes,
using it.
that's exactly
That's
what I was
crazy.
going to say, too.
Yeah.
and
it's
there's
that-
billboards everywhere.
Yeah, beer makes
built-in-
football better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Lions, it might. You know?
That's not funny. The built-in justification.
You're not a Packers fan, are you?
I'd walk off. Don't ask that.
Boz gets up and leaves.
But it's that built-in justification.
Yeah, yeah,
I had a lot of my friends that were in Adam's shoes and your daughter's shoes, and
yeah,
they stayed, but that wasn't around me. And then I felt I had to babysit them. Like, you come around, that's cool, but hey, where's your bathroom? Everybody else had been like, oh yeah, walk in through the door, down the hallway, first door
Right.
on your left. Now it's like, I'll take you because
Yeah.
I'm not trusting you in my house.
Yeah.
And how I felt.
Yeah.
I still would call these people my friends, but luckily I drew a line when I had taken pills and I was 18, 19. And my experience, that's a whole nother story, but I swore off pills then. It was a year or two later, I had friends going to prison and addicted,
Yeah.
and we drifted apart because I wasn't about that.
yep,
And early in that time, I met with my wife and children, and that type of stuff wasn't going to be around, but I could justify alcohol.
sure,
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Never mind me, right?
Yeah,
You're-
'cause
you're a
alcohol's
bad
fine.
person now as
Yeah,
I'm getting
right.
hammered, and it is just a different name for the
Yep.
same demon.
still does
And
the
then-
same thing.
In what we do as personal trainers. So I've noticed, like, I know the behaviors and the thought processes that go into addiction, and also the flip side, recovery, and how that thinking pattern has to shift.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it with clients with food
Oh, for sure.
as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you see it in movies. The girl who her boyfriend breaks up with her and she's eating
Go get a pint of ice cream.
pint of ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a coping mechanism,
Yep.
and it's a dopamine hit.
Yep.
Just as
And I've experienced that. I've struggled with my weight for most of my life. I grew up in poverty after my parents got divorced, so there was food scarcity, and I'm sure that contributed to it as well. So there were a lot of things, but yeah, I mean, it's just, and we're a food family. My great-grandparents started Zender's restaurant. So
okay.
we are a food-orientated family, and I'm not kidding you. Our spreads are obnoxious. Like, they're embarrassingly
And then
excessive
in a lot of
amount of
situations,
food.
if you decline that dessert,
Oh
it
yeah,
can be
there's
offensive.
food pushers. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
gotta have a piece of grandma's pie. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna hurt grandma's feelings if you don't eat the pie.
You had to say the pie.
The pie, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the grandma with the pie.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm 61 years old and I'm still battling some of those thought patterns myself, and it's obsessive compulsive thinking. And thankfully, I'm not ashamed to say I've been on medication for that. I'm on a GLP-1. It has quieted down food noise that I didn't even know was food noise. I thought everybody thought that way. They just handled it better.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And something I learned is obesity causes overeating. Overeating doesn't cause obesity. The disease of obesity causes overeating. When I'm done with breakfast and I'm thinking about what's for lunch, that is normal for me. That's my normal. So to use a MAT for substance use disorder, GLP-1s are MAT for eating disorders.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that my brain worked that way. And now I'm down almost 50 pounds
Nope.
because it's helping. I'm also focusing on eating more protein and less carbs. And 95% of the time, I'm trying to eat the best things because I want to not have my breast cancer come back. I want to see, hopefully, potential grandchildren when my daughter gets done with school and gets a relationship. I want to live a long time because I feel like, I'm doing good in the world and I'm having fun, and it's a really good place to be most of the time. Most of the time, right? Sometimes we come up against obstacles that just make me want to cry for humanity. My niece reached out to me a couple weeks back and sent a picture on a Facebook post on, I don't know, Bay City negativity or whatever it is. And there was a gentleman laying on a cement slab somewhere, and people had posted a picture like, not in my backyard, blah, blah, blah. And she said, she calls me Aunt Foofy. That's my nickname. Can you go find this guy? It's by my dad's house. Like, something's wrong with him. And I did. I found him. And I called the Bay City PD to come and do a wellness check. And he was homeless and struggling with substance use disorder. And he's on SSI, but he had nowhere that he could live. And my heart broke for that guy. Like, it broke for him. It's 55 degrees. He's in shorts. I always carry a blanket, water, and snacks in my car because you never know who you're going to meet. Like, be prepared to help. And don't just, no eye contact, la, 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 didn't see it. See it. See it and do something about it. That's the community I want to live in, because I'll tell you what, if I was laying on a cement slab, I hope one of you guys would pull up and be like, hey, lady, are you all right?
Yeah.
Instead of posting my picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
Trying
not,
to shame people.
That's not where I want to live, man. That is not the community I want to create. So let's make it better together.
Yep.
And ignoring it or shaming people does not help them get well. I don't know any disease where shame is part of your prescription. Let's just make them feel worse. Let's put them in jail longer. Let's make them go through withdrawal, because that'll punish them enough so then they'll stop using. All of that's wrong. There is no evidence that that works. In fact, it's the opposite. So why do we keep doing it? Come on, man. We're smarter than that.
Yeah.
We're smarter than that. So we got to do better. And we know how to do better.
I would never wish withdrawal on anybody.
No.
It's a terrible, terrible
to watch
feeling.
somebody you love go through that. It was worse than going through childbirth, and I use no medication through childbirth. That's why I have one child. I'm a fast learner.
Addiction is like repeating that process every day.
And hating yourself
And
that
fighting.
you did it, and hating yourself.
And
Just like
fighting.
with binge eating. Like, why did I just do that? So I get it on that lower food level. I can't imagine the level where it's fentanyl. Can't imagine. I've seen my daughter go through withdrawals. It broke my heart.
That's terrible.
And to think that people go to the medical floor in jail and it's literally a 3-inch cement slab, no blanket, no pillow, sicker than you've ever been, and that's medical? That's barbaric.
Gallon of Kool-Aid.
Barbaric. Not okay. Why do we allow that? why do we allow it?
Well,
It's not all right.
I'm not sure how they do it now, but I know just telling the jail that you were detoxing, they would keep you up in observation. And so basically, for me, I learned from the times I went to jail before. The last time I went, I'm like, I'm not going to tell them because I don't want to be in a fishbowl where everyone sees me going through some of the weakest moments of my life where, it's
but maybe
just,
if we just made you feel worse, you would get better.
Right.
What if they did that for me for breast cancer? If my friends and family all abandoned me and said, you did this to yourself, we're going to kick you out of the house, we're not inviting you to Christmas. Can you imagine? How would that have helped improve my recovery? Instead, I got cards and gifts and flowers and support groups. And when my daughter left the hospital, we got nothing. Not okay.
right.
So we now have envelopes full of resources that they give out at McLaren.
It's awesome.
It's honestly the one thing that I wanted.
I know
of all of
1016
it.
does some of that with the Mid-Michigan too.
Yeah. Yep. There's Project Assert
Yep.
in several hospitals. That's fabulous. We need more of that. We need that 24/7. People need more care, not less care.
Now let's take a moment to thank our sponsors, Pine Haven Assisted Living. At Pine Haven Assisted Living, they believe in making every resident feel at home. Nestled in the peaceful countryside of Hemlock, Michigan, they offer compassionate care in a family-like environment where residents can enjoy independence with the support they need. Registered nurse-owned and operated, their team provides personalized care, home-cooked meals, and a range of activities to ensure your loved ones continue to live a fulfilling life. They also have alpacas and llamas on site to enrich the lives of their residents. Experience the warmth and comfort of Pine Haven. Call them today at 989-295-6632. That's 989-295-6632. Or you can visit them on their website at pinehavenassistedliving.com. That's pinehavenassistedliving.com for more information. Now, back to the Level Up Life. Yeah, and this is a perfect bridge into a lot of the questions we had here today with recovery housing. So let's start at the beginning.
It's always a great place to start. Although starting in the middle,
we could
that's
start
fun
at the
too.
end too.
Shake it up a little bit.
For people who don't know the difference, what exactly is recovery housing, and why is it so important to have this as part of the recovery process?
So just like with any chronic illness, there's a continuum of care. So with breast cancer, it's diagnosis, and it took several things to make that happen. A lot of times people are put on a medication first to shrink the tumor, then there's surgery, then there's might be radiation, chemo, nutritional support, all sorts of things to improve your odds of recovery. With addiction, it's the same thing. Some people go to detox where they help their body get through those withdrawals, then to residential treatment, which is rehab, followed by outpatient possibly, and then recovery housing, which our daughter lived in recovery housing for a year twice. That's like a group setting where you're living with, 8 other dudes who all want to stay in recovery. You're sharing living spaces, maybe even a bedroom. The project that we've been working on recently is Recovery Apartment, similar to Andy's place down in Jackson, where you've leveled up, right? Level up.
Leveled up,
Yep,
yeah.
you level up, all those things. It's really leveling up. Now you have your own apartment. And you don't have to sleep in the same bedroom as another dude or another girl. Try to get 8 girls in a house together getting along. It's no adult wants to have roommates for forever.
Right.
So the recovery apartments that we've been working on are similar to Andy's place down in Jackson. They've been in existence for over 5 years, and holy cow, what a great thing, because it allows people to level up. So what happens a lot of times is people go to treatment and then they come back and they're going to go right back to their same environment. So it's no surprise that if you take a sick tree out of a sick forest and you put it in a well forest, that tree gets better. And if you take it back out and put it back in the sick forest, what do you think's going to happen?
Sick again.
Sick again. Why are we surprised when we send people to treatment? And I'll be honest, I was so naive when our daughter went to treatment for the first of 3 times. I was like, great, she's cured. Like, oh, thank God this, like I breathed a sigh of relief. Thank God this is over. dude, I was so dumb.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was a lifelong thing that we'd all have to manage together. So if you take people and you get them detox and you get them on the right path, whether it's 14 days or 90 days, and you send them right back to their same living conditions, which, as you know, could be an unhealthy family home where you're using with your family members. Maybe you're couch surfing. Sometimes people have survival sex. A lot of times for women, they're having survival sex with people just so they have a place to stay. That's a real thing, Guys too, but a lot of women experience that. Who wants their daughter to go through that? To have to make that choice. Do you want to be outside in 14 below weather, or do you want to just have some sex right now and I'll let you stay in my house?
Right.
Neither option's great, and so, or they're back at the drug house again because those people will accept them and they're there. If you don't have a safe, healthy place to go after you leave treatment, what are your odds of staying in recovery? They're pretty low. So I always say, recovery's Vegas, baby. You want to improve your odds.
Yep.
Anything you do to improve your odds, and recovery apartments are that next place. So as you know, a lot of times with substance use disorder, people make bad choices because it impairs your judgment, and people do get a criminal history. Thankfully, I don't know how, by some miracle, our daughter does not have a criminal history. Certainly could have, certainly should have, but she doesn't. Many people get a criminal history. So when you go to rent an apartment, you need first and last months or first and security. That's $1,600 minimum. You just got out of treatment. Where's $1,600 coming from? You don't have $16.
Right.
Like, that's impossible, right? Who's going to rent to you? You got felonies on your record. You have no job history. Your credit record sucks. As a landlord, I'm like, oh, hell no. You ain't living in my place. And I'm a business person. Dude, I get it. Where do you go? We have to figure out that solution. So the Michigan Association of Treatment Court Professionals, which are all the Michigan judges that do recovery and sobriety courts.
Like Judge Beal.
Like Judge Beal and like Judge Gill and like Judge Borello and Saginaw, Judge Trice.
Does this include like mental health court?
Yeah, it should include all those veterans courts, all the specialty courts. They see the cycle. They were seeing the cycle. Like, okay, we'll put people in treatment court and we'll get them to treatment, and they come back and they're relapsing. Geez, why? Because they're right back to the same place. Like, this is not rocket science, guys. So the Michigan Association of Treatment Court Professionals, MATCAP's like, okay, we got to change this. We got to do something so people can get to a safe place to live. And they participated with getting Andy's Place in Jackson, the first recovery apartments in the whole United States, to try that. And it's working. So let's do more of that. So they're building one in Dearborn or Southfield. They're building one, I think both of those, and also in Kalamazoo. And we'd love to have one here too.
Yeah.
Because we understand in that continuum of care, as you level up, you get your own place. And then guess what? Then you have affordable, stable housing where you can get a job. And maybe it's a low-level service job. Maybe you're working in a restaurant. Maybe you're working at the car wash. But you can make rent. Because your rent's 30% of your income. It's not all of your income. People in recovery are working 2-3 jobs just to have necessities.
Yeah. So
Necessities.
there's a thing that my counselors used to say, Jolene and Angela from JNA.
Yeah.
And it's just when you hit so many walls.
Yeah.
Like, apply for this place in the situation we're talking about where you're just getting denied for housing. And then all of a sudden, you can't make rent or whatever. It gets to a point where they called it a bucket of the fuckets.
Yeah. Like,
where it's
why?
just like, why am I even
easier
trying?
to use, yeah.
My
life's no better.
I'm always going to be
Yeah.
I'll never be able to sustain recovery because Then you get in this line of thinking and it's just spirals down. And then that's how relapses happen. And that's how these recovery apartments can, I truly believe, set people up for success.
Yeah.
Where the next step beyond that, they're out, they can spread their wings a little bit more. Maybe it's buying a house.
You get your own house.
First time home buyer.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been 6 marriages that came out of Andy's Place because people build their relationships back. To me, that's the most precious thing. People get their relationships back with their kids, which can live there with them. So think of all the impact that this has on our legal system, our criminal legal system. arresting people, jailing people, putting them through the court systems, having the ambulance come after an overdose, put them in the hospital. All of the money, foster care, all of the money that we're spending there, for every $1 spent on prevention and treatment, it saves $7 in all that law enforcement stuff and an additional $4 in medical. So for every dollar we invest with people staying in recovery, it saves us $11. As a business person, I love that.
From a fiscal standpoint, it's like a no-brainer.
Be smart about your money. Be smart about it. But yet people want to bitch. Oh, we don't want to give them subsidized housing. Dude, you're giving them $11 more than what you're paying on top of that every single time this happens.
And in general, I think it's just I want everyone in our community to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Don't you want that the best for everybody?
It makes it safer.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything. Let's get back to where you touched on before when we were just chatting. Kids don't have to be home till the street lights come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had that freedom because we didn't even have phones.
No,
or
we didn't
anything
have
like
cell
that
phones.
then, right?
Yep.
It was gone.
Yeah.
Just like a crock
Just-
pot.
yeah,
Right?
yep,
Set it, forget
yep.
it. They'll be there
Yeah.
that same way.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about our kids, future grandkids,
Yeah. Yeah.
when our whole community is safer.
Yeah. Safe and healthy and looking out for each other.
We
And we have to do more of that.
We just had Judge Karras, who runs mental health court
Yep.
and the Michigan Hope program,
Yep.
and then Judge Beal on, and we talked about reducing recidivism through
Yeah.
the treatment court processes, and I went through there and it was successful, and you're discussing like the broader picture of the continuum of care, like
Yeah.
we're piecing together everything to make people have the best chance.
Yeah.
And this includes recovery apartments
Yep.
because there's halfway houses, there's
Yep.
sober living. When you get out of treatment, you do your 90 days, you can go right into
Yep.
a sober living environment, which is like you're talking about, like group
It's
housing.
great, but nobody wants to do that long term.
Right.
Yeah. Who wants
And
to live with a
it's-
bunch of roommates? You want to go have your own. That's, as an adult, that is your desire to go have your own place. And the apartments allow you to do that because now you get a job because recovery court, you have to be in school or get a job, right? You have to get all your paperwork in order, all the things that you lost, you have to restore. And that's a long process. And you need help doing that.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of navigation of systems that are difficult to get your social security card. Like it's to get your birth certificate. Like it's complicated and expensive. And people need you to hold their hand as you're going through that. And I've helped people. I feel like I'm pretty competent. It's hard, guys. It's hard. Let's not just throw people down and be like, well, if you didn't use drugs, you wouldn't have to do this. Well, you know what? You might be right, but here we are now.
And so
Here, let's solve this where we're at, right?
we work with kids in the juvenile center here in Midland.
Yep.
And a lot of these kids, what we found out, we just had a couple young men who were working for Buddy Answer.
Yeah.
They're really doing great. They've made some
that's
great
awesome.
changes.
Yep.
But their stories, and this is pretty broad, like this happens a lot across our nation.
Yeah.
Where kids they're born into toxic environments, and it perpetuates this,
Yeah, it's
this
generational.
trauma
Yeah.
that they get to be, 28, and maybe they're finally getting it. They're getting clean and sober, and they don't have great coping skills.
No.
They don't even know how to fill out an application.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing it with kids aging out of the foster care system, and they don't have the skills. They were never taught by their parents,
Right.
and they do not have the skills to get out there and troubleshoot life.
Yeah, and
right?
just ride the waves of life or learn how to make the bumps smaller, because sometimes we make our crises bigger by not dealing with things when they're small, and that's a learned skill, right?
Avoidance
Because procrastinate, avoid, can't deal with it, but now the problem's bigger. So that's part of the learning experience. Becoming financially recovered is a big component of it as well. And so people get into recovery. It takes them a while longer to figure out financial recovery and how do you manage your money, and how do you not just on an impulse go buy something that now you don't have rent money. So now you created that crisis. So there's a lot of learning. And thankfully our daughter did not grow up in a household where there was using. We're social drinkers, but that's it. But a lot of kids use with their parents or with an older sibling or with an uncle. You know, that household, that generational, plus the genetic component of it. If it's in your genetics and you're exposed to that and it's normalized, how do you know it's supposed to be different if this is what you grew up with? So it takes the community for all of us to come together and say, here's like, I feel like we're the people with the flashlights in the woods.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want somebody with a flashlight in the
Looking,
woods? Yeah. Knowing the way out, having a compass and be like, follow me. You're the follow me. And we need that in our community. And recovery apartments are another way. It's not just an apartment building where you go and live. There's a live-in resident manager who's a person in recovery. There's a case manager who helps you figure out, how do I get my driver's license restored? How do I get these felonies expunged? How do I access Medicaid? How do I do it? I don't know.
How do I make a grocery list?
Yeah. How do I even know what to eat besides, commissary?
Yeah.
Like, seriously. If you've never lived it, you don't understand. And I'm thankful for my poverty experience. When my parents got divorced, we lived in Bangor Downs. We lived in Section 8 housing for a while. And there was food insecurity, housing insecurity, transportation insecurity. Then we leveled up to the Winona Beach Trailer Park. And then we were in various rental houses. So my poverty experience helped form who I am and my compassion for other people. Because we're not in the same boat. We ain't even in the same ocean.
I think a lot of the people who have experienced addiction and are in recovery that are that atmosphere we spoke about a little while ago, I think that is the way it is because we've all seen that darkness.
Yeah.
How dark life can be. And, that's where that compassion comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, man, if that was missing from my life, I would be a more miserable human. Yeah. So the hard things that we've gone through, when you get through them, I think it's our duty to help other people. And if you haven't gone through them, God bless you. How fortunate you are. You're even more equipped to help.
Right.
That doesn't give you permission to not participate.
Right.
And for the kids who are in families that weren't great families, that weren't supportive, we have an obligation as family, friends, and neighbors to support them at a higher level. We don't call them the bad kids. We don't not let our kids hang around them. You get that kid on the ball team, you get him a glove, you pick him up for practice, and you make sure that kid has some support. You don't throw that kid away. That's a wrong thing. I don't believe there's
such thing as a bad kid.
No, but we say it.
Yep.
People say it. There isn't a bad kid. There's a kid who probably hasn't had needs met.
And is in survival mode.
Yeah. Yeah. So help.
Yep.
Help a little. Do what you can. Time, talent, treasures. What you got?
Yep.
Doesn't have to be a lot.
Well, let's go rapid fire on some
bam,
of
bam,
these.
bam. All right.
So we can.
She banged out a
Oh,
bunch.
I know.
First answer.
I know. Like, let me see here. Where, I think two things, which will summarize a few of these that we haven't really gotten into, is the fears people have about recovery apartments being in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, the whole NIMBY thing, not in my backyard, is alive and well, and we felt it a lot at our first attempt in trying to get one built in Bangor Township.
The same thing happened in Midland County.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, another Andy's Place was going to be brought in, and it was, I was supposed to, so I was talking with Dallas Rowell about it, and we were communicating. She was working, I can't remember who she was working with.
She was with Mahia.
Yeah,
And Mahia is still a part of this project. Yeah, the Michigan Health Improvement Alliance.
So, and I mean, it got to where I was going to go to city council and speak about the importance of recovery housing on the recovery process. And then it was squashed. Yeah.
So I wasn't involved in the project when it was in Midland, obviously, because I'm a part of the community. I heard about it, was very disappointed in it. And then Heidi from Mahia reached out to me, and she's the CEO of Mahia, and said, could you help? We'd like to get it in Bay or Saginaw. And she knew my work in Bay County and in the Great Lakes Bay region, but I'm from Bay County. And I said, yeah, like if I can help, I will. So we worked on that diligently for a year, and pulling literally all of the objections that people had, trying to get data, because I'm a business person, and I think data-driven decisions are the best decisions we make. When we make decisions out of emotion, typically that doesn't go well, right? We should use data. So thankfully, we had a 60-page program evaluation of Andy's Place that was written by 2 PhD criminologists from Grand Valley State University who took a look at all of the different components of Andy's Place and what it had done in the facility itself and how it had impacted the community. And it just proves that this works. It works at a high level and it doesn't bring things. So you had mentioned, like, why are people afraid of it? I don't think people understand that people in recovery are not people in the using community. But what they always bring up is, well, what if they relapse? Relapse can happen. It can happen. And Andy's Place has a 3% eviction rate. The rate in Michigan for evictions of regular apartments is 17%. Sometimes people do relapse, and we give them an opportunity to get back on track. We don't automatically, like a recovery house where you're group living, most of the time you get kicked out. Most of the time, if you go back to active illness, that doesn't end well. I understand the rationale for it. But with this particular program, again, that's got a resident manager. It has supports there. They build their own community within that facility. And you know how it is in the recovery community. We look out for each other, right? If you're having a bad day, he's going to notice and be like, buddy, you okay? Like, what can I do for you? And you're going to spill it to him because you trust him. That's what happens with those 50 residents. They build community there. So it's not just like an apartment where you don't know your neighbors. You know your neighbors. But I think the tough thing is people who don't understand our community of recovery and don't understand the using community, they look at us as violent people who are going to molest their children and murder their grandmas. And that's just not it. That's not factual, but it's the worst case scenario. And oh, hell no, I don't want that next to my mom or next to my kids. Because the emotion that's driving that is fear. I understand that, right? I understand it. But let's look at the data. That's not what happens.
Right.
By Andy's Place. The actual community improves. Crime goes down. The Walmart that's across the street, these people aren't stealing from the Walmart. The people in the using community still are. But these people who are living in recovery housing aren't. Like, we just had a hard time getting it through people's heads that these people aren't using drugs. You're not allowed to have drugs, alcohol, or guns in this apartment building. It's a part of your lease. That would be the apartment I would want to live in and next to.
Yeah.
That also, you said, has security.
24/7 security. Not to protect the neighbors from the people, to protect the people from the neighbors.
Yeah.
Right? It's dangerous. When somebody in recovery walks into the world, there you are. There's the cannabis shop. There's the liquor store. There's the billboard. There's the people sitting outside drinking, smelling the weed, seeing somebody doing a little drug deal in the parking lot. That's where you have to walk out to. When you come home, you need a respite from that. Recovery apartments, you come home. You're not listening to your drunk neighbors fight. You're not smelling weed from the neighbor. You come home to your peaceful, safe apartment. That sounds like a dream for people in recovery. What a blessing for people in recovery to have a respite from the world, and yet the world's afraid of you. Like, it breaks my heart because I know the people in recovery. They'd be the first people I'd call if I needed help, frankly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the poor people are the most generous. You go to a poor person's house, hey, can I get you a Coke? Can I get you a Sprite? Like, what can I get you? Hey, we had lasagna last night. Let me feed you. You know, you go to a rich person's house, you don't go in their refrigerator. It's just different. People who have the least, I have found in my life, give the most. Mm-hmm. That's a weird phenomenon, but it's true.
Yeah.
That's my experience anyway.
Well, so Judge Karras was on last week, and he brought up a good point, talking about the same topic where, you know, there isn't, I think he said there isn't a felonyville that people go to when they're released.
Right.
They're released into the community.
Yeah.
They're your neighbor. They're
family, friends, and neighbors. They're right here.
They're at the ball game with you and your kids.
Yeah.
They're integrated into our communities.
Yeah.
Where that's where the whole argument, not in my backyard, it's null and void.
They're already in your backyard.
They're already everywhere. And
do you want them to be sick in your backyard, or do you want them to be well in your backyard?
Yes, that's
I don't know.
That's what the question should be.
Yeah.
And we should be empowering, not just the recovery community, but let's help as many people in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
Because if we can be a positive force in someone else's life, why is there even a question of?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's the ripple, right? I mean, I still think the like-minded people like us, the empathy, the compassion, taking, recovery even. There's way more of us than there are the asshats in this world. The asshats are just loud.
Yeah.
But the more people that buy in and we're all helping, then we get back to what this country is supposed to be about, what this world is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And helping one another, and it's not, we're all the same.
Well, and it's not like every man for themselves. And like, I got mine, you go get yours. Like, I just don't understand the selfishness of that, but there's a lot of people with that attitude. And honestly, like, I'm around a lot of people in recovery, and so we speak the same language, we get it. And, I'm thinking like, we're making great progress on the stigma and stuff, like, and then you go and do a project like this. Oh, not so much.
Yeah.
Not
I
so
was
much with
shocked.
not so much with the general public. There were 250 people at the town hall we did, and one of my guys in recovery there is very prominent in the community, does a fantastic program helping get people from jail to treatment. He texted me and he said, "I have to move. This guy next to me keeps calling us druggies and junkies." Like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. How does it benefit for you just to be mean?
What's the phrase? Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house.
Well, and I'll tell you, the fastest way to learn about this is to be involved in it. And I would never wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
But be careful.
Well,
Be careful that your comeuppance ain't going to come and hit you in the face, and you're going to learn the hard way. And you know what? When you do, we're going to be right here to help you. But come on, at least listen to us. And I don't care whatever marginalized community, the LGBTQ community gets just as much crap as we do. The African American community, just as much crap, right? So any marginalized, stigmatized community, why do we have to participate in that? Can't we just believe them?
Yeah.
That that's their experience? And this is what their low requirements of us?
And it's
just use the language we
well,
prefer.
when do I get my month?
Yeah. Dude,
Right?
every day's your month.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like going to it's coming to my birthday party and you're like, well, my birthday was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it's my birthday today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not discounting your birthday, but can't we just, when people tell us how they feel and what they've experienced and how they want to be talked to and treated, can't we just honor that?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Exactly. We
It's
don't take offense.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not about you.
Wait. Where do I need to take offense here? No. Hear them. You nailed it on the head. Why can't we hear them?
Yeah.
Try and make it better. Make
Yeah.
their experience and their life better.
Yeah. And believe
Why can't
them.
we champion them instead of, oh, you're different than me?
It's a perception thing.
Yeah.
We have different perceptions, right? Of how we could walk, all three of us could walk into the same venue, building, restaurant, and be treated all exactly the same, but our perception may be different. I can honor that for both of you,
And also people's perception of me, they think I'm this Karen. They look at me and see Karen.
I see
Karen.
passion. I see passion. I see driven. I see
I'm
fighter.
Karen in a good way.
Right.
Honestly, I'll walk right alongside you. I'll lock arms and whatever. I've
Well,
heard
I appreciate that. We need all
things
the
of
help
male
we can
version,
get,
but
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because and if you go to the store and you're slumming it that day, and because as I was picking up my wardrobe, I'm a girl, so I looking at your podcast, I'm like, oh, it's like blue and black with, like, I don't know what to wear. I'm wearing red because I like red anyway. I'm like, that'd look good on there.
Yep.
Because for business, I wear suits for business, and I was like, oh, I should wear a jacket. I'm like, no, man, this is casual.
Yeah.
If I tromped in here in a suit, you guys would be like, oh, this one's uppity, right?
Nah, we'd still
But if
wear
you saw me
shorts.
yesterday slumming with no makeup, my hair's a mess, like in just ratty shorts and a t-shirt, like if I went into the store looking like that, I would be treated differently than if I walked in my suit. Because people treat us differently based upon how we look and their perceptions of who we are as a person.
Come
They
as you
definitely
are,
judge the book
right?
by the person.
Welcome to the recovery
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Come as you are.
That's absolutely it. Yep. And it's okay. And man, this has been the hardest experience of my life. And I survived poverty, and I survived breast cancer, and I survived other traumatic things in my life. Going through this with our daughter has been the most traumatic, but it has been the biggest blessing in my life because I get to meet people like you. Warriors.
Likewise.
Warriors.
I appreciate
Truly.
you being a warrior for the entire recovery community.
Yes.
Because, you know, I can pioneer for it, and people may not, you know, I'm a business owner, and I've had some level of success in my life since recovery.
Yeah.
But also, like, people look at my past, and some people will still they'll discount me. Like,
yeah, this guy.
Just
Just give him a minute. Yeah, he's gonna go back
just
to that.
wait.
Yeah. No,
just
I get
wait.
it.
I tell everybody that I'm not done yet.
Yeah, just
not done.
wait. You're gonna see what you're
My
gonna see
mom,
next.
you can probably relate to this, and I love you, Mom. She tells me,
Shout out to the
she's
moms.
like, I'm so proud of you, Adam.
Yeah.
What you've accomplished since you've got clean.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm not done, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Just wait.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. You know?
Yeah. I'm proud of every single day that my daughter navigated her way through, and I'm so happy she's still here, because I know so many other people whose loved ones aren't, and that breaks my heart. I just wish that they were still here.
I mean, it's the greatest fear as a parent.
The worst.
I mean,
yeah.
I cringe, and my wife used to get upset with me because once my kids were old enough, I was an open book. And, you know, a lot of my behaviors and a lot of my things.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get into individual stories necessarily, but they know my whole past.
Yeah.
And I worry about, even if it's once a month, they're going out on a Friday with their coworkers or whatever.
Yeah.
I cringe, and it
Yeah.
gives me pause, and I'm not preaching, but I'm constantly giving that reminder of,
Yeah.
hey,
Just be safe.
remember who your dad is,
Yeah,
and
be
where
smart.
them genes are,
Yep.
right? Because
That's a real thing.
it does not take
Yeah.
much time. I mean, you kind of touched on it, but we start off by using the alcohol and using the drugs. And
and then
it's
the
just a
alcohol and
matter
drugs
of
start
time.
using you.
yeah,
Yeah.
And you don't recognize it
No.
until you're way down shit creek
Yep.
and you have no paddle.
Yep.
And
And then
It
you're
can
so
be-
embarrassed and ashamed that you got there, and you can't figure out how you got there. Like, now what am I supposed
Yeah.
to do? Yeah.
and I mean, how do you ask all these people that told you to watch yourself?
yeah.
Now I gotta eat crow when I said I'm fine and
Yeah.
I'm good. And
Yep.
It grabs you before you even realize it.
Yeah. Those substances are so potent, with fentanyl specifically, that people don't think that, oh, knee surgery, and now, oh, it's my knee's hurting a little bit, so I'm going to take my pill a little earlier. Now I can't sleep. I overdid it this weekend. I'm going to take 2 tonight to sleep. It can happen that innocently. We talk about young people with alcohol and weed and like leveling up that way, but it happens to people who get surgeries, knee replacements. When you look at the group of people who die, it's folks between 30 and 50 that are dying of overdoses. And oftentimes it's because of a medical procedure. Thankfully, that has changed. The pendulum has really swung, though, the other way. So there are people who have chronic pain. We need to figure out a way to address people. My mom had degenerative disc disease, and we're cutting people off who have legitimate pain because we lost hundreds of thousands of people. We lost 500 people to overdose deaths in Bay County in the last 10 years. Like, that can't continue. But then now the pendulum has swung way back the other way. Like, we really need to take a look at how do we successfully manage pain for people without having them die and ruin their lives. Like, where's the balance? I don't know. It's going to take us a while, I think, to figure out that balance.
Find the balance.
Yeah.
So, do you have any, if you were to communicate one thing to our audience about recovery apartments, what would that be? And this is your camera here. You can talk directly to them.
Awesome. I would say do the research. There's a video on YouTube that I did that is the exact same presentation that we gave to the town hall meeting that shows the data. So as a business person, I like to follow the data and make decisions based on data, not based on emotion. And so hopefully we can link that on your website. You can just click on that, watch that on YouTube, and learn more about it. I think we become better people, better citizens when we learn things and you will learn what this is and what it is and what it isn't. And recovery apartments aren't anything to be afraid of. They don't bring crime to your area. They reduce it. They don't bring your housing values down. We did an assessment of housing values at Andy's Place. Within 2 miles of Andy's Place, the housing prices, not only did they not drop, they actually rose at the same or greater level than other areas in the community. So all of the objections that people threw at us, this and that and this, and it's bad for this, none of that's true. It just isn't true. And you can choose to believe it or not believe it, but the facts are there. There's a 60-page criminology report that shows that Andy's Place is the safest apartment complex in all of Jackson County, by far. So if you're interested in learning what it is, there's information there for you to learn. So become educated before you have an opinion is my best advice for people. Because people have very strong opinions who know nothing about a topic.
And sometimes
Today's world, no.
Yeah.
Sometimes people
social media
formulate opinions based on memes, but we won't get into that.
You get to live your life how you want to live your life, but you can be wrong.
Right.
You can
we
choose
all
to
are
be
at
wrong.
some point about something.
I was wrong. I was misinformed, and I'm not afraid to say or embarrassed to say, like, I was so wrong on what I thought addiction was and what it wasn't. I thought it was a choice that people just wanted to do that. My dad struggled with alcohol use disorder and then all the other drugs as well. He just died recently in the last month.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But, that caused us to be estranged for most of my life. And when my parents got divorced, he went and had 2 other families and just was kind of a vagabond, would pop in here and there. But you just, I always thought that he just preferred drinking over us until I got educated. And now I understand as an adult daughter, he had substance use disorder. Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did. I just didn't realize it. So when people are struggling, it's important for us to be educated as well on this disease because it's tricky, man. It lies to you. It lies to us. It's just a liar. It lies and what it is and what it isn't. And that's the most insidious thing. Because when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I told my doctor, I got diagnosed on a Thursday. I said, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Because I would like surgery. I want it fixed right now. And people with addiction are, I can't tell you how many people, I can't go tomorrow. I'm busy. Oh, all of a sudden you're busy? You don't have the outfit?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it'll be like, no.
Tomorrow's my laundry day.
Yeah, I got to do laundry. Oh, okay. There's no other disease that tells you to wait for treatment. But it lies. It lies to us. It lies to the community. And the only way to get past those lies is to educate. And as an educator, I know that to be true, right?
Yeah.
Let's look more at the data and don't rely on fear to base our decisions on what we should do in our community because having recovery apartments here helps everything in all the ways. Honestly, you guys, I looked under every rock looking for the ugly monster. Like, okay, there's got to be something bad here. Diligently for a year. I didn't find one thing. I didn't find one thing bad about it, except for not in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So we just got to work together. Harder,
Right.
smarter, faster on that.
I appreciate you coming on to educate our viewers.
Thanks for
and our
having me.
listeners. I want to say a big shout out to everybody out there who does the research for one, but especially the people that are recovering out loud.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, like, the more of us that find strength in our ability to open up and share, the lower that stigma. We kill that stigma. We kill it together in numbers, strength in numbers, people. So I just want to say thank you for the people that are, and I love y'all.